Hi guys, this is Stacy Stafford and my research project was on educational equity, women's representation in educational curriculum. So this study was conducted with 34 female students in grades 6 through 12 in an all-girls program in Broward County. It also included 4 teachers from that same program that participated. The purpose was to evaluate the prevalence of women represented in curriculum and to assess the attitudes of students and teachers regarding women in curriculum. What the study found was that women continue to be underrepresented in curriculum, particularly in textbooks, that the incorporation of more women in curriculum can lead to girls' self improvement and self efficacy, motivation, and confidence, and that interventions such as female guest speakers and examination of textbook language can be effective interventions and tools to use in the classroom to promote a more equitable environment. So, the rationale and purpose for this research study was that basically women have been fighting for equal rights for hundreds of years. Education is a right that should be available to all students, regardless of their gender or ethnicity or religion. Women have the right to join men in the classroom now, as we know, which was not true in the past. However, we still continue to see a lot of the curriculum focused around men and their accomplishments. A lot of times, students only learn really in depthly about women and their accomplishments during Women's History Month. I know, for instance, I don't remember learning much about them besides during special units, such as during Women's History Month. And incorporating more lessons around women and their plights and successes could have an extremely positive impact on young women in school today. So, the research questions that I posed and looked at were: what is the prevalence of women in school curriculum? What are the potential benefits of integrating more women into school curriculum? And what interventions can be used in the classroom to promote and facilitate the use of more female figures in education? For theoretical framework, I approach this topic through examining social justice through a critical pedagogy. Basically, the purpose of the study was to emphasize the need for equal representation of men and women in curriculum. In addition, I examined some of the power that higher authorities have in education and how those who are in power tend to hold onto barriers that can contribute to a lack of women in their representation in education. So, for methods of data collection, there were qualitative and quantitative methods used. A survey was distributed to students and teachers at the all girls program. And again, there are 34 students used in 6th through 12th grade and 4 teachers. The students and teachers each received surveys. The student survey was paper based with 10 questions that measured student attitudes towards women in curriculum, and it was a combination of multiple choice and open ended questions. The teacher survey was sent via an online link using SurveyMonkey. It also included 10 questions that measured attitudes towards women in curriculum and also combined multiple choice and open ended question types. For the analysis, SurveyMonkey tools were used to analyze the teacher survey. Student surveys were manually entered into Google Docs, and Google Doc tools were used to analyze, as well as myself doing some of the analyzation by hand. The significant student results were that 21 of the 34 students responded that they never learn about women in class. 61.8% of students would like to see more women represented in their lessons. 86.6% of students responded positively to the idea of more women being included in curriculum, stating things such as because women are being included more, it's important because women do play a powerful role in history. 73.5% of students did not feel being a woman hindered their ability to pursue their career of choice. And 86.6% of students felt that seeing more women incorporated into their lessons would be beneficial. One student reported that I am a young lady about to be a woman and I want to make a change and not be known as what others may think a woman is. I want to prove them wrong and understand a woman's worth. For the teacher results, all the teachers felt that there was an underrepresentation of women in curriculum. 75% responded that they teach a lesson that incorporates women at least once a week. This kind of seems counterintuitive to the students' responses since many of the students did not feel they learned about women, but I'll come back to that in the implications and limitations section. 50% of the teachers reported that their subject area standards mandate some kind of teaching about women. 75% of the teachers would be very likely to incorporate more women into their lessons, and 25% were not sure. All the participants responded that it would be beneficial to incorporate more women into their lessons, and they also all felt that their materials, such as test books, did not accurately represent women. Most of the teachers also agreed that the strongest barrier to integrating more women into their lessons was a lack of resources and the limits of state standards. So, conclusions and implications, returning back to our research questions, what is the prevalence of women in school curriculum? The teachers felt that women are greatly underrepresented in school curriculum. On the literature review I also composed, there was a great deal of underrepresentation noted as well. What are the potential benefits of integrating more women into school curriculum? The students felt that it would make them feel inspired and more motivated. They also indicated they could use the knowledge to prove others wrong about women, go out and kind of be voices for women, if you say. Studies that I reviewed during the literature review additionally indicated that it could increase girls' self efficacy, leadership skills, and confidence. What interventions can be used in the classroom to promote and facilitate the use of more female figures in education? Much of the data that I received from the students and their responses included they wanted to see more female role models used, such as guest speakers. The teachers mentioned that they could examine the language used in textbooks, even use them as a discussion point, and also combat the stereotyping of women. And also, through literature, one example that was brought up was even conducting experiments in science class that were done by female scientists in order to show students that females can be scientists and what they can accomplish. So, in order to promote equity in education, including better representation of women in curriculum, it does start with educating our teachers on best practices that they can implement in the classroom. This includes making teachers aware of their language, basically making sure that they're using language that is gender responsive and not just focused on female or male students. Also, examining lesson content, including terms in textbooks. We can help them create that equitable classroom. Again, that goes back to even using some of the passages in textbooks to have a discussion about why a woman may be stereotyped the way she is as a wife or as a mother, and build upon that during discussion. In addition, by making just a conscious effort to include females in curriculum, teachers taking their time out of their day to look for more female focused curriculum and to just be aware that there is the lack of females represented and to try to counteract that. And then by implementing these types of measures, teachers can continue to grow our young girls into successful young women. Some limitations to the study I want to point out include the small student sample. One of the reasons for the small sample is that the survey did occur during district testing days, so many of the students were not available to complete the survey due to participating in their district testing. The small teacher sample, I'd originally hoped to get 10 teachers, but we have had a very high turnover rate at this facility, so only 4 teachers were able to complete the survey. Students may also not have understood the survey directions. Unfortunately, I was not able to provide them the survey in person as I had planned to. There were extenuating circumstances that led to my absence during the survey being given out to them. And then also, student attendance may account for not knowing that lessons with women do occur in class. There was a little bit of a discrepancy between the teacher's response to the question regarding women in their lessons and students being taught about women in their classes. Many of the students sometimes do struggle with attendance, and they may have been absent during those lessons where women were incorporated into the class curriculum. So that is it for my research project and presentation. I hope you all enjoyed, and have a great evening. Bye.